What's up everyone, Tony from the Strength House, and today I'm going to talk about overloading the bench press. And by that, I mean using different methods to help you lift more than what you normally could in order to improve your maximal strength. Now, the squat and the deadlift seem to benefit from this a little bit less. Anecdotally, using overload methods seem to wear people out a little bit more. Number one, because you're squatting and deadlifting heavier than you would bench anyways. And number two, you're doubling up on that lower body stress. The bench press is the only upper body competitive lift, so overloading it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. And in fact, can really help build confidence when it comes to competition day, knowing that you've held that weight or even heavier in your hands already. So the first method, and probably the one that's accessible to the most people, is a reverse band bench press. So I've got the bench set up in a power rack. I've got these bands set up to the band pegs on top of the power rack. You could just wrap a band around the very top of the power rack if you don't have those band pegs. And all that does is that's going to give you some assistance in the beginning part of the bench press. So I'm going to unrack it here, and those bands are going to start to stretch as I bring the bar down to my chest. So the first half of the range of motion is assisted as the band helps you push the bar back up. You can use whatever level of band resistance or assistance in this case that you need. Just know that it's only going to help really with the bottom half of the motion. And as you press up, those bands are going to start to go slack. So the lockout should be fully you with maybe only just a tiny little bit of band assistance. Now, the pro there is that you've got nothing on your body, so your setup could be exactly as it normally would. The drawback there is that the weight on the bar literally changes as it goes up and down, so you're not necessarily feeling that full weight, even though it's going to be a maximal, a super maximal rather, method. Now, another method, and the one that I probably like even more, is using a slingshot in order to assist in the lift. So slingshot is a wearable piece of equipment. There are lots of other different things like this on the market. The slingshot is the one we like the best. You actually wear it. So you pull it up over your elbows, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna stretch out over your chest and help you lift the weight, much like the reverse bands would. But the benefit here is that the weight in your hands never changes. It's just the slingshot itself pulling across your body. The main drawback here is that you might have to alter your setup a little bit to get into position, and it's really hard to unrack heavy weights by yourself. So if you're training alone, the slingshot may be a little bit less viable option, but I'll show you anyways. So I get into my setup. As you can see, this thing is trying to pull my elbows forward, so I have to work really hard to get in position. And the main thing you want to do here is make sure you're pulling out the whole time, as if you're doing a band pull apart. And what that's going to do is it's going to really teach you to engage your lats and your upper back. And as you bring the bar down, you really want to try to spread the slingshot apart across your chest. So as you press it back up, it's going to help launch that bar off your chest. All right, so the weight on the bar never changes, which is nice because there's no change in the resistance or assistance on the bar itself. That slingshot is just spreading across your chest to help you launch the bar off your chest once you press it back up.